My name is Jigme. I'm the Executive Vice President of SCI Healthcare Minnesota and Iowa, and the second Vice President of our API caucus. So I've been with SCIE for 21 years now. 16 of those years have been as an elected leader. I was born in the foothills of the Himalayas. It's a small town called Kalimpong in India. So I'm also a Tibetan refugee. My country, Tibet, contains the biggest ice fields outside of the Arctic and the Antarctic. And the glaciers in Tibet are melting, currently melting, and they say that by 2050, it will completely melt. And this is happening because of other people's greenhouse gas emission elsewhere in the world. And that impacts the climate change across the world. But in this country, API voices and many stories from countries like mine have always been invisible and never spoken of when it comes to the fight for environmental justice work. So what makes me really proud here in Minnesota is how some of our API leaders, organizations, and our own API caucus were very active at tables, helping shape and lobby one of the most ambitious clean energy state laws in the country, 100% clean energy by 2040. That was amazing. And also as an immigrant, I understand what it means to live in America without a driver's license, the fear of getting pulled over by police and deported, frustrations about inability to get to work, taking your kids to school, or making to a medical appointment. Things many of us take for granted. In Minnesota, finally, 80,000 undocumented folks will be able to obtain driver's license regardless of their immigration status, thanks to years of organizing by some tireless individuals and organizations. For our communities to succeed in its entirety, we must continue to win economic, gender, immigration, climate, and racial justice. So every time a Black body is murdered in this country, API communities across have joined in solidarity, sharing in our collective trauma, and showed up for our Black siblings who continue to mourn and hurt. And together, we took to the streets after the Atlanta spa shooting or during the Stop API Hate to speak out against anti-Asian hate incidents, which is not getting enough attention. Racial resentment against Asians have been a popular sort of pattern in American history, turning one group of people against another race of people to distract, deflect blame, to divide and spark fear. So what I feel like the politicians and the corporations, like my sister talked about, need to do is to stop using the model minority and the Asian advantage stereotypes, right, designed to protect institutionalized white supremacy and validate anti-Black racism. They need to stop weaponizing, scapegoating, and gaslighting our Asian communities' issues to justify anti-Blackness and colonialism. They need to stop calling for increased police surveillance to fix racism. So on this sort of Heritage Month, as a community, we need to continue to organize by doing more transformative and accountable work so that we can continue to disrupt history and cycles of oppression and make a commitment to make cross-racial solidarity a daily, lifelong practice versus a reaction to a big incident. Thank you.